Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Knicks Film School Post-Game Show presented by FANATICS Sportsbook. My name is Andrew Claudio. That is Benji Ritholtz. Jonathan Macri has to do his SNY spot. He will be here momentarily. What we just witnessed was the greatest comeback in NBA Finals history. The New York Knicks erased a 29-point deficit, a 27-point halftime deficit, a 15-point fourth quarter deficit, in which 15-point at the end of three deficit, in which the lead got back up, I believe, over 20 at some point in the fourth. Benji. When they were written off after a 2-9 stretch in January, they proved everybody wrong. When they were written off after an embarrassing effort coming out of the All-Star break, they proved everybody wrong. When they had a 4-game losing streak in March and went through a stretch where they didn't beat anybody over 500, they proved everybody wrong. When they went down 2-1 to the Atlanta Hawks, they proved everybody wrong. And I can't think of a better addition to this team's resume than to go down the way they did in that first half, to have all the narratives, all the PTSD, all of the doubt come creeping back in, and for them to once again add this comeback to everybody to tell them, you're wrong about us. This is the playoff run where they exercise all the demons. We literally got a Josh Hart miss at the rim, reminiscent of the Ewing finger roll, and it doesn't matter. It just didn't matter because that's this team. That's what this team is. And I'm so proud of them. I'm just so happy. The New York Knicks are one win away from an NBA championship and have 3 to go. Benji, how are you?
You know what, man? The cliche stuff that goes on about team representing a city, representing its fans, taking on the identity of a city, letting the fans lift them up. It's so easy to dismiss all of it. Most of the time, you probably should dismiss all of it because these guys are multi-gazillionaires playing a game. If you don't come away from that with some romantic feelings about basketball, about the franchise, about the arena, about the fans, about this particular team and the players on it, then you have a black hole in place of your heart. That was utterly special and meaningful and outrageous and emotional. And I see it on your face, Andrew, emotional. I hugged my wife after and I cried like a baby. She's never watched a basketball game with me before. She sat next to me because she understood what that was. That was a city and an arena carrying a team and the players on it to the most historic comeback in NBA Finals history. The OG Anunoby tip-in will go down as one of the most famous shots in NBA history. We aren't that far removed from never believing that the word history and the Knicks would ever come together again. And we just had a night of that none of us will ever forget. One of the most special nights of basketball I've ever experienced, I've ever watched. And I'm just, I feel very privileged to have witnessed it and been a part of it with the community that we have here. Holy cow.
Man, that first half, I know everybody went to some places and I was on the watch along with Sean and with John, and all the PTSD creeping in, and all the negative thoughts coming back. And I just sat there stunned that what was happening. And I mean, I was texting you off air, I guess, just like, is this just hot shooting, or have the Knicks has the Knicks been solved? And just to go over it again, in the first half, the San Antonio Spurs scored 76 points. They hit 14 threes, the most threes ever in the first half of an NBA Finals game. The Knicks had 15 made field goals in the first half and had a total of 49 points. In the second half of this basketball game, the Knicks allowed 30 points to the San Antonio Spurs. 30 total points, 14 points in the third, 16 points in the fourth. The Knicks scored 26 in the third, 32 in the fourth, to give you a second half score of 58-30. And the Knicks outscored this team that was on a generational shooting run in the first half. They got a grand total of 12 points from their bench, 8 of which came from Jose Alvarado, all in the fourth quarter. We'll talk about him at some point in this game. I want to try and keep a big picture so you and John can mostly dive into the details. I know he'll think of things that require more details than I will, for sure. Where was your head at halftime? Take me there if you can.
Tell Andrew. Andrew, I answered your text, and my feeling about the first half, and I was getting yelled at for it because my tweet suggested it. That was an outrageous shooting half. It was ridiculous. And the natural reaction to when a lot of threes go in is to say the Knicks aren't closing out. The Knicks are all over the place. They're in the blender. They're not. They were open threes that they made, but they also made every contested three, and they made every mid-range look. And I promise you, my reaction was, defensively, I don't think they're in a terrible place. If San Antonio makes a ton of threes, you're gonna lose, because they have a freak of nature at center who is going to impact the game every night just by being on the floor. If you can't take him away and take 3-point shots away. If the Spurs ever get a roster where there's a ton of shooting on it, or these guys become great shooters, it's over, guys. It's over. But it wasn't a mistaken approach by New York in the first half. Like, they were closing out short to the right guys, and Harper and Castle and Fox made all the threes. They could have been closer to Vassell a couple times. It could have been a little closer to Champagne a couple times. But generally speaking, I just didn't think the defense was all that terrible. I'm sorry. And I said as much. And look, I think they got pretty much the same looks from three in the second half. Not down the stretch. The third quarter was an open three brigade. Generally semi-contested. Most of the right guys were taking them, and they missed every single one. So it's hard to play that game, but if you're game planning for a team like this, you have to understand you're going to give something up. Those threes were very similar threes to what they've given up in the first two games, and the Spurs made 30 to 35% of them. They started the first half, they made 55 or 60% of them. Okay, so you got to just stick to it. If anything, I thought the Knicks lost some poise in the first half. I understand the frustration, but the flagrants and the nonsense, like I didn't think that helped them. That just dug the hole so deep that you almost weren't able to climb out. Right. But in the second half, they came out more businesslike, with the exception of some annoying turnovers. They stuck to the game plan. The Spurs missed everything. The Knicks found some offense and loosened up the defense a little bit. Jalen Brunson took over, and there we are. It's unbelievable what this team can do when their head's on straight.
The anatomy of a comeback, and this is what we were going through during the watch along. You kind of have to hit it in waves, right? You have to hit certain checkpoints. And you talked about Madison Square Garden carrying this team, and the city just trying to encourage this team and carry them to get back into it. I want to say it was early third quarter. I have no notes because I was so checked out, and I can't use Pivot Fade because their servers are down. So I have no idea what three it was, but there was a three that got hit early in the third quarter to cut it down to 24. And the Garden got into it. I think it was an Anunoby 3, and it was like a 5-0 run, right? To make it might have made it a 22-point game. And you just heard the Garden get loud for a second. And in the moment, it was like, all right, well, at least the Garden's going to be into it. And that was the first checkpoint. Then they got it under 20. And it was like, okay, this is the second checkpoint. Let's see if you can play here. And then things started to plateau a little bit.
Got back to 20, down to 18, up to 22.
Right. And it was like, okay, this is going to be like or maybe you found something for game 5. You cut it down to 16. And I remember it. Landry Shamet has a great look in the corner for 3. It would have cut it to 13 and it misses. They come back down, and I believe it was either a putback to put it back up to 18 or a Wemby, a couple foul shots. And I'm saying, man, that Shamet 3 could have put it under 15, which is the next checkpoint. You get it to 15 at the end of 3, right? And you get these 2 Jordan Clarkson possessions at the end of the third. Now you're wondering, okay, where are you going to go for a 5th player on the floor? Do you just rock with the starting 5? Or you just you find someone else. And so we get the Jordan Clarkson minutes. Weren't effective. You get a Deuce McBride corner 3, like designed play to start the 4th. It misses. He gets taken out immediately. And then I want to say some free throws were taken, and we're talking about it on the watch along, Benji. We're going through the bench points. And Mitchell Robinson had 2 points. Jordan Clarkson had 2 points. And that was it. To start the 4th quarter, you had 4 points from your bench. Carter Bryant had 5 points in this game, and at that point had outscored the entire Knicks bench. And then Mike Brown did something that you suggested, that DJ suggested, that I wish I had said it publicly because I'd look much smarter today. I was thinking...
We believe you. It was a KFS effort.
I was very much like looking for who the 5th person should be in the last game. And I was like, hey, remember the NBA Cup? But we had to get to people. Jose Alvarado gets inserted into the game, Benji. And the rest is kind of history, literally NBA history. Real quick, you're out of focus on your camera, but when that fixes, Benji, the difference, the adjustment that was made, if you could just like talk people through what actually changed when Jose Alvarado was in the game down the stretch for the Knicks.
It's he was just really active and he's really fast. And I think, they're trying to zone up behind. And you saw a few times Alvarado actually came up to screen because he would be the low man. All of a sudden, Wemby was on Alvarado, and Alvarado's so quick getting up. And Wemby was a little off balance trying to guard that screen. And Brunson got by Wemby a couple times, got a switch and made a 3 over Wemby. So I think his quickness and his decisiveness and his constant movement within that offense, he's a little bit chaotic in a good way. I think it kind of threw off San Antonio, plus the fact that he's just another handler out there who can distribute. He's gotten into the paint consistently in the series and made good passes, sprayed out for 3s. He made one to Anunoby on a bounce pass. We have to talk about OG Anunoby, but Alvarado's a good place to start. So I think his quickness, his decision-making, his counter to the ball pressure, that he's so fast in a straight line, you can't really press him in the same way, whereas Brunson's going to fight you tooth and nail. Alvarado's just going to go by you. And I think that relieves a lot of pressure on Brunson. It allows Brunson to be more of a scorer, play off the ball a little bit. And all of that really was rewarded. Like the whole idea just came to fruition in front of us there as that lineup was played down the stretch. I will say, a lot of this was just Jalen Brunson doing miraculous things when they threw him the ball at the end of a shot clock and everyone was standing there and watching him, and he made a lot of shots and a lot of plays. But I thought Alvarado's spacing, obviously he made the 3, made a great move for a layup on a little half spin move. So he got some production out of him points wise, but just like the presence, the quickness, I thought was really beneficial to the offense and just loosened everything up. You just could sense like Wemby wasn't able to cover all the ground with how fast New York was moving.
So let's talk about OG Anunoby. Finishes tonight in 41 minutes with 33 points on 15 shots. Benji, 6 of 6 from the line, 7 of 9 from 3. Would you believe he was a -1 in this game?
No.
And of course, a putback after a long Brunson 3, a putback shot that as of right now, I mean, Allen Houston running jumper, Larry Johnson 4-point play. This is bigger than both.
Nothing. It's one
of the biggest shots, and I'm trying to think if it is the biggest shot in Knicks history at the moment.
It's Willis Reed walking out of the tunnel. Iconic. We're talking iconic. It's a swing game in the NBA Finals. I mean, the Knicks haven't been here very often.
Yeah.
It is.
So we could have. Man, I'm the history buff. It's Willis Reed's first 2 shots of Game 7 in 1970,
and that's not to win a game,
right? We might have just witnessed the greatest shot in Knicks history, and it was a putback from OG Anunoby.
And it was an absurdly athletic play for a guy who played 41 minutes and played 40 minutes 2 nights ago. And it's the very end of a ball game that he played his absolute butt off, and he gets way up in the air, and he's hanging there, and he gets a fingertip to it. Iconic. Absolutely. I can't wait for like the official photographs to come out of that shot just to see what that looks like. I mean, that is as good as it gets, man. You can look at they show the famous NCAA shots, but there's aren't that many shots that actually win a game in the last. You would think it happens more often than it does, but because of the way the game is played and the free throws and everything else, it doesn't actually happen that often that in a key game of a championship you get a game winner. And it wasn't a buzzer beater, but it was a game winner with 1.3 seconds left, whatever it was. And it's absolutely iconic. And let me just say, the game probably should have been over if De'Aaron Fox doesn't take a layup that got blocked again by who?
By OG Anunoby. Oh my God.
They keep trying to take transition layups on OG Anunoby, and all he had to do was dribble the ball out. That was one of the.
John will say this when he gets here in the moment, because our hearts broke when Josh missed the layup, right? When Josh misses the runner, it was, I had Ewing flashbacks. I was like, fuck, is this Knicks legend going to be forever associated with a ball off the back rim, off the back iron that in an important moment that flipped the playoff series?
I collapsed, Andrew. I collapsed. It was heartbreaking.
And then he misses the box out.
Just total... hard to explain, frankly.
Just missed it. Then you get the miss, and the cat bats it out. And then John says it in the moment. You kind of neutralize the Hart miss by Fox taking a layup there. And it's Anunoby. Remember last year Westbrook did this against the Timberwolves in overtime, and it was like, just run the ball out. Let's run the clock out. I
can't believe he tried to take the layup.
Yeah. And I'd assume that's what they're saying in San Antonio right now. But
that shouldn't go like out, the OG tip-in is the iconic moment, but none of it happens without him getting back. And he sprinted when that ball, because he, that could have been a situation where everyone's like, and just, Fox makes the layup, game's over. But he sprints back, and I don't know how many transition layups he's blocked now in this series, but he gets another one in the most key moment of the game. Fox is totally foolish. That's supposed to be your veteran point guard. Outrageous that he tried to do that, but the Knicks are given luck. I mean, look, the other side of this is a despicable, and if I'm a San Antonio Spurs fan, I am as sick to my stomach. That was a choke with capital letters. Victor Wembanyama at the free throw line, the Garden. I've never heard it that loud through my TV screen, and he looked like he was schwitzing. We say, he was sweating, and he was nervous. And he's been, the free throws have looked so easy for him all series long, and he misses 2. He misses 2. Wemby. Wemby misses 2. Go do a sketch in the park, Wemby. Go do a sketch in the park. Go elbow someone else in the face. Just keep elbowing people in the face.
Yeah, we got our flagrant foul call on Wemby finally. Yeah.
Oh my, all the meditating, all the monks, they couldn't get you to calm down for the free throws, buddy.
Yeah.
God, that guy's annoying me. I'm with Jacoby now. That guy's annoying me. That was unbelievable, man. He misses both. Holy cow.
Victor Wembanyama finishes with 24 points on 25 shots, 2 of 8 from 3, 3 missed free throws, 3 very big missed free throws. OG Anunoby, 1 offensive rebound, one of the biggest in Knicks history and NBA history. That's
unbelievable.
One block, one of the biggest in Knicks history.
Jeez.
It's funny how OG Anunoby might have just had the biggest block, offensive rebound, and shot in Knicks history in like a matter of 5 seconds in this game.
So OG in his last 2 games is now shooting what for what, Andrew?
So he was 10 of 15 last game. In this game, 10 of 15 this game. in last game, in game 3, he was 9 of 13. So he's 19 for his last 28. Jeez. So that's where, so John, hold on. We're going to do this right. Okay. So, so that's where OG Anunoby is. 19 for his last 28 in the last 2 games.
Has there ever been anything more automatic than OG Anunoby catching a ball in the corner right now in your life?
Every single big 3 that they needed from him.
He never misses.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
So, here's what we're going to do. Macri's here. SNY is done. So he's here for the rest of the night. We're going to semi restart everything. Not the intro or anything. We're going to put him in a one shot because I want you to also leave and come back so we can adjust your camera. So you're going to put John in a one shot and then we're going to let him go. Because I'm sure people want to hear what the Mac Man has to say after one of the greatest wins, if not the greatest win in Knicks history. So, Jonathan Macri, that's not me. Jonathan Macri.
I wanted company, and now I get to be by myself. What has it been? A half an hour? Apologize if anybody out there is watching and texted me. I have not checked my phone, although I have seen several messages pop up on my laptop, inquiring about my health. So let me just report to everybody. I'm okay. I'm fine. I think I'm fine. I don't have any composed soliloquy. I don't have anything remotely resembling a coherent monologue. It has been a half an hour. I have sat here. I have understood what transpired in the basketball game. I watched what transpired in the basketball game. I saw it as it was happening. I saw the lead dwindle forcefully thanks to this basketball team. And it is the damnedest thing. It is the damnedest thing because you're sitting there and you could not be more out. Could not be more out. 13 wins. 13 it might as well have been 13 seconds leading a game in preseason. That's what those 13 wins meant watching that first half. And that is what fandom does to you. That is what fandom does to you. You want to tell me that is what Knicks fandom does to you? I'll take it. I think it is bigger than that. That is what fandom does to you. We are so in the moment. And in that moment, the Spurs were so dominant and it looked so hopeless. So we are watching this and we are watching them. And even as the hopelessness is taking place in front of our eyes, they went on, like I wrote it down, they went on a 5-0 run in the early in the second quarter. And I wrote it down because and they were down, I don't know, 22, 23 at the time, 5-0 run. Maybe, I don't even know if it went below 20 points. And then of course that was followed by a 6-0 San Antonio run. But even then I'm still, it's like, and so you get to the third quarter and the dominoes start falling and it gets under 20. It doesn't, I don't care what fucking team we're talking about, what team we're watching, what their accomplishments are. The fact that you got what was a 29-point lead down to 19 or 18 or whatever it was when they first got the lead under 20. The fact that in that moment, it didn't matter if you were the most optimistic Knicks fan in the world or if you were Armand, shout out, or me, and I'm probably a little bit close. I'm pretty close to Armand. It didn't matter who you were. When they got that lead under 20, you might have been fighting yourself as you did it, but you watched it, and in the back of your head, the deep recesses of your brain, you're saying, "Huh, that doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. There is 79 years of history in this sport that says if you're in this stage, which means that you are playing a team that was good enough to get through 3 rounds in the opposing conference, not to mention this team, which has as I've been calling him the last week, a queen of the chessboard, which no one has ever seen before. And they finally figured out how to fully optimize him on the defensive end, and they're doing a pretty damn good job of optimizing him on the offensive end too. Getting it to 19 or 18 or whatever it is should mean nothing. It should mean nothing. And yet we're all sitting there like, well, and 19 and 18 becomes 16 and 15. And then they hit that hump where it was 15 and they got it to 15. And then the Spurs went on a 4-0 run and pushed it back to 19. It's like, oh, okay. Now we could go back to thinking about, well, what did they do at least to give us some positivity? And then you're thinking about that. But then they're not done because they're never done. Because I've used this comparison in the past. Apologies for the repeat analogy, but like Halloween wasn't 1 sequel to Halloween. It wasn't 2 sequel to Halloween. It wasn't 3 sequels to Halloween. There's been 11 fucking Halloween movies because people just can't get enough of this shit. Keeps coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back. Well, this time we've burned him alive and disemboweled him. Well, shit. Next October, what do you know? Another one of these fucking movies. That's this team. That's this team. You cut their head off. You cut their arms off. You pull out their intestines. You burn them alive. You do any number of ungodly things to them that any roster in their right fucking sane mind would look up at the scoreboard and say, okay, it's not our night. Not this fucking team. Not this fucking team. How? Why? What? What did we just witness? I still don't know. It's been how long? And I don't know what it is, despite the fact that I saw every basket in the game. I'm so happy I was able to catch a little bit of what Benji was saying as I was waiting to go on SNY. I'm so happy he gave credit to the Garden crowd and this city. And it's not just because everybody in that arena and everybody spiritually in that arena deserves to take a fucking bow for lifting help, because you don't do that by yourself. It is in simpatico. It is a symbiotic relationship. And this team gets pulled up by the crowd and the crowd gets pulled up by the team. And it is a beautiful cycle. Vicious cycle if you're the Spurs tonight. It's a beautiful cycle for us. And I'm happy he gave that crowd the credit, but not only because we have waited for this and we have been through some dark times, including the first half of that basketball game, but because, and I will cop to go saying some things contrary to this in the first half of this game. It is a special place and it is a special building. There is no other building in the league that could have facilitated that comeback. No other petri dish where that thing that we just witnessed gets created in. That was a one-of-one scenario. And then, you know, I don't know if I've had a coherent thought here yet, but you fight and you fight and you fight and you fight. And then you get right up against it. And you have a gut punch. And Josh Hart, who is, again, go find me someone on the interwebs that has a greater affiliation or affection for Josh Hart than I do. That would have been, I mean, that puts him alongside Charles Smith and some other names that I don't want to mention. And you have that level of gut punch. And then I'm not even talking about the missed box out. You have that happen to you. after all that, and you overcome that after you overcame a 29-point deficit, it's the Rocky line. He doesn't think it's a damn show. He thinks it's a damn fight. At some point in this basketball game, the Spurs thought that they were involved, I think, in some sort of a show. And they were the main characters. And boy, oh boy, how much fun it is to put a beatdown on this Knicks team that we have finally figured out. And let's go home. We'll get game 5. And then let's send these fuckers into their summer vacation next Tuesday. That's what they were thinking. And the Knicks said no. The Knicks wanted no part of it because they're too goddamn stubborn. And that stubbornness is something that we have watched play out, sometimes in good ways, sometimes in bad ways, over what is now a 4-year period of history with this basketball team that is now one win away from the ultimate crowning achievement. And they will have, if they can do it, and there is still an if they can do it, it will be as significant a sporting accomplishment as this city has ever seen. And it will be defined by a character and a will and a relentlessness. I am at a loss for words. What a night. Can I talk to Benji now? Am I allowed? Hi, Benj. I can't hear you. I don't know if that's a me or a you issue.
Oh, I was just screaming like a lunatic. I'm here now.
Now I can take a sip of my beer.
I got some Knicks issued vodka.
That's vodka?
It is?
Tequila.
That's what I meant. Tequila.
Mine is in the box behind me. You can see it. I never took it out. Maybe I should take it out tonight.
You're not going to drink with me? You crazy?
Oh, I'm having a beer. Here, cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Oh, look at what my koozie says. These are my wedding koozies.
Oh. Man, oh man. John, hey. What's up?
I'm sorry to have to do this right off the bat. I have to ask you a question because it's going to eat at me if I don't ask it.
Please do.
How much of that was X's and O's? Honestly, but
no, very little.
Very little?
Very little. The reason it's very little is because, the lineup decisions were X's and O's. I think Alvarado, as we discussed, was X's and O's. Like, that's a lineup decision that made a lot of sense. But the Spurs missed everything, then got extremely stagnant offensively. I didn't think the Knicks were doing anything that different. I thought I don't know how in the weeds you want to get right away, but like Anunoby should always be guarding Fox. And they got away from that in both the last 2 games. To start,
you wrote about that before this game. And
Bridges is struggling. Bridges is struggling to stay in front of him. And I don't understand. I think the reason he's doing it is because if you put OG on Vassell is often in the corner, and that means OG is the guy helping on the Wemby roll. That's why Mike Brown is doing it. But like, they need to keep Fox out of the paint, and OG is just better at navigating those screens than Bridges is. So I thought that was X's and O's, that mattered a lot. But like, the Spurs totally fell apart, John. They were all of a sudden disconnected defensively. Wemby wasn't. I think they were tired. I think Wemby's playing a ton of minutes. I certainly think that got to them. And then for the first time, we saw a young team absolutely mentally flinch. There's absolutely no question. I mean, some of the turnovers were absolutely inexplicable. The free throws, Wemby choked straight up, looked like he was nervous, missed both. They missed all their threes. in the second half, except for Fox
Great.
made one huge one that I thought was going to actually end the night, and it didn't.
There are 20 moments in that game that if any one of those 20 go differently, and yet even as I say that, I'm going to catch myself. Sorry. Because there were another 5 or handful-ish where as you were watching it, you're like, oh, that's the shot that needed to go down for this to be a real thing.
Yeah.
There were about a handful of those, right?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, the Fox step back over OG was like the one to me, though, I thought was over. Like, that's okay.
That was when they went back up by 7.
And it's just, I don't know, John. I'm nostalgic right now. I just, how many times we were sitting on our couch or even in the arena for some, for $12 compared to $12,000 now that it would cost to get in there. And the team goes down 30 to name the team, Giannis's Bucks or Harden's Rockets, and you just had
LeBron's insert team here.
You're playing a different sport. And the team goes up 30 and they're having a good time. They're smiling, playing games on the bench. I mean, this happens so many times in that arena. And then, God, who knows? Noah Vonleh makes 2 threes and they cut it to 20. And what happens in the arena? Every night in February of 2016 or what, you pick the year, you pick the date. They cut the lead to 20. The crowd gets on their feet in Madison Square Garden and acts like it's a playoff game. Every single time, because that's the kind of fans that we are. And it was just so poetic and like dramatic to me that what now I think probably goes down as, they won a game 7 to win a championship. So we can have the conversation. This might be the second greatest win in Knicks history. It's probably first or second. I don't know. Certainly top 5.
So I would argue the 2 games that they actually won the championship have by default,
right,
have to go 1 and 2 on the list, especially since one of those 2 games contained arguably the greatest moment in NBA history.
Right.
Most replayed moment in NBA history. This is without question. This is number. I mean,
it's right there, man.
This is number 3.
For it to be that exact thing, except real stakes, biggest stage, the same legend, future legend, laughing his way through the first half, playing with our heads, going like this to Mitchell Robinson, all
I didn't
that.
See that.
Yeah, that's why Mitch punched him in the face. Is because after he scored on Mitch, he like pointed to his ear or his head or something. It was like mocking Mitch, which is why Mitch clotheslined him. Baited Cat into a hook foul. He was playing all the games, Wemby, all the games. And you're like, but you know what? Times are different, man. And it was just poetic for me that it was this kind of comeback, but it was real. The Garden was, as they always are, just the same as they were on those meaningless nights, were up and in it the second there was even a morsel of hope. They were in it. But this time it's real because this team makes it real. This team does impossible things, and they do it pretty routinely. And it's just amazing.
This much is a guarantee. The 2026 NBA champion is going to be one of the most storied champions in the history of the league. That is without question. Because if the Knicks win it, this run will be discussed, put on par with anything that we've ever seen, regardless of if the Knicks win it in 5, 6, or 7 games. If the Spurs come back and win 3 straight, they will be discussed as one of the all-time great teams. I'm of course already not coming down, but like still need one more.
Yeah.
Still need one more. Still need one more. That is still a team that went up by 29 points in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get there yet. I can't get there yet. We got to stay on the comeback. Have to stay on the comeback. Who do you want to talk about first? I don't know if you talked about any individual guys.
I talked to Andrew about OG. We talked about Alvarado. Those are 2 guys we talked about.
Great. So I get to talk, and OG is like, is he making a real case for Finals MVP through 4 games?
Yes.
I think you have to say yes.
Oh, yes. because not he's not only making every shot and making all the blocking everything at the rim, but he's creating now. Like when the Knicks don't have a second creator, like he's actually the guy at the end of the clock who has to make plays, and he's making every mid-range shot, and he's making a step back three every game, and he's getting some drives in, and it's just been the best OG Anunoby's ever played, and he's doing it at the most important time. Yes, there's a real MVP case, especially with how inefficient Brunson was early, and now how silent Cat has been in the last two games. I think there's a real case to be made. Absolutely.
So, I put a list in the newsletter today. In game 3, OG Anunoby became the 11th player in NBA Finals history to score at least 28 points on 13 or fewer shots, joining in from oldest to newest: Bill Bradley, Hall of Famer; Cedric Maxwell, Finals MVP; James Worthy, top 75; Larry Bird, decent ball player; Kevin McHale, decent ball player; Magic Johnson, decent ball player; Sam Cassell, inventor of the big balls dance,
and a decent ball player from what I hear.
Decent ball player; Tony Kukoc, Hall of Famer; Kawhi Leonard, decent ball player; and Klay Thompson, future Hall of Famer, decent ball player. And that's the list that OG Anunoby joined 2 nights ago. I don't know exactly the names that are going to come up when I put in, what the fuck did this guy do? 33 points on 15 or fewer shots. I'm guessing, Benji, it's going to be a very similar list.
How about if you plug in the last 2 games and shot attempts and points? Because that list might not exist.
No, well, it exists now. No, you're right. It didn't exist before these last 72 hours. So very good case for Finals MVP. I'm so happy you talked about Alvarado. Changed what you mentioned already. That was the big, probably offensive X's and O's adjustment. But that just gives me the pleasure of talking about the gentleman who played 44 minutes tonight. I don't believe he sat in the second half.
Sheesh.
Did he? I don't think he did. Who was the coach tonight? His name start with a T. We sure his middle name wasn't Jamas. I think it might have been. 44 minutes, 36 points, 12 of 25, 3 of 7 from 3. The 3 that they needed to have. The 3 that they needed to have over the guy. 9 of 11 from the free throw line. Take it. 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 turnovers, couple that were, oh my God, maddening. Oh my goodness. And then 3 steals. And then, but you know what, Benji? In a game they won by 1, plus 11. Now that's not the highest on the team. And that's why I'm looking forward to talking to at least a little bit about Cat. Because no, he was not loud tonight, and it's not been, maybe what we would have anticipated given how the series started. But a plus 17 in 26 minutes in a game you win by 1 is interesting. It's an interesting number.
Well, yeah.
Talk about it. No, I'm run with it.
No, I mean the 2 fouls in a minute. So he wasn't in the game when they got crushed. But of course, that's part of the reason they got crushed, because he wasn't in the game.
Precisely. That's the only point I'm trying to make.
Oh, of course. And his defense has been phenomenal. Continued to be phenomenal. He was, even when Wemby was making shots, he was all over him. Wemby had the mid-range shot where I thought Cat actually got a finger on the ball on the way up, and he made it. And then Wemby made the play where the ball was like behind him on an offensive rebound. And
my God, that was ridiculous. Which was
honestly in its own way iconic. If they would have won the game, that would have been gone down as a very famous shot, I think, because it was just like the encapsulation of like what this creature that we've never seen before. But and then you saw in the second half how attached Wemby got to him, especially after Cat made that step back, which was an outrageous shot, by the way.
Oh my God. It is the unsung shot of the game.
End of the shot clock, nothing going, and he makes a ridiculous 3. Then drags Keldon Johnson down. Is lucky he didn't get called. But that's...
Oh, you thought that was a foul on Keldon Johnson?
It wasn't a foul. No. Keldon Johnson was closing out.
Yeah.
Cat flopped to try to get a call.
Sorry. So you thought that was a foul on Cat.
And then Cat dragged him down. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I mean, look at watch it back. That's what I saw.
First fourth quarter points of the series.
It was crazy. And it was a crazy shot. But you saw after that, especially like Wemby was so tight to him. And all of a sudden there was like room to the rim. And I just don't know what happened to San Antonio. Like what happened to the zoning up? Why was Wemby involved in every action? It didn't feel like Alvarado had a lot to do with that because he was the low man a lot and came up to screen for Brunson, which got Wemby into the action. But it just felt like Wemby was not nearly as present defensively. And you just wonder if all the minutes caught up to him. This is, he didn't sit again in the fourth quarter. That's a lot for a guy like that, so I don't know.
Was it the fact that because he was definitely being pulled away from the basket more. We can agree on that. Was it the fact that they were like, okay, we're up by a bunch. The Knicks are going to have a quicker trigger with their threes. They're not going to hesitate as much as they were hesitating in the first half. Possibly.
Fair theory. Definitely could be.
I'm just trying to figure it out because I don't understand
stark. It was stark. Because Hart was out there. So like you had the theoretical guy to play off of, and they just didn't really do it. It was just kind of, they really collapsed. I thought Mitch Johnson looked nervous. I really thought they looked shook in like a very obvious way, which you just don't see a lot in the NBA. Like these guys were nervous as hell.
But look,
yeah.
I hope I'm not angering any Knicks fans when I say this. If you put this exact Spurs roster in this position 2 years from now, against this same Knicks team, and you don't even advance them in age, and you keep the Knicks as their age right now. Again, I hope no Knicks fans are getting offended when I'm about to say what I'm about to say. Like, I think the Spurs are winning. Like with the maturity that they will accrue over the course of that time, with the maturity that Wembanyama will accrue, with the maturity that Dylan Harper will accrue, with the maturity that Stephon Castle will accrue. Like, you have to get him now.
Yeah.
This is the time to get this team. Because if they keep it together, they're going to be insane.
If they keep it together, and if Castle and Harper shoot like they shot in the first half, we're approaching that as 3-point shooters, it's over. Wrap it up.
Cosign. I read Brunson's stat line, and we did not talk about Jalen Brunson. It was a classic Jalen Brunson game. I know it wasn't a great Jalen Brunson game when you look at what he has done over full 48 minutes before. It was a classic Jalen Brunson game.
I frankly didn't love his process, certainly through three quarters. And I haven't really all series. I think there are just too many no dribble, 3-bump, step back, mid-range jumpers going on. That just are, at best 35% shots, even for him. They're difficult shots against good defenders, and there's just not enough movement. And so I just didn't love his process. Why is he doing it?
Yes.
I think he feels the pressure of being against all these kind of ball hawk guards, the only real ball handler. Everyone else who handles the ball is a risk. Like they tried Josh Hart breaking it up a couple times. He turned it over. There's really nowhere to go, which is again why Alvarado was so valuable. But I think he feels that pressure. I think he's a little nervous to throw the passes with the length and Wemby in the middle. And you saw one of the terrible turnovers was he got blitzed and tried to throw like some kind of hook pass that got picked off by the Spurs, and down they went the other way. So
is that when he was trying to get to Clarkson under the rim?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad.
Terrible.
And it felt massive in the moment.
He thought they were on a run. He thought it was over. So I think it's the ball pressure is really intense. He feels like he needs to create everything, and the passing lanes are precarious. I think he feels all that, and so he's taking a lot of tough shots.
I'll also offer, it has happened in the past where he has gone about things this way, and eventually the shots start falling, and he will force doubles at that point. And I'm wondering if he is thinking that is our best path to efficient offense is like.
And in fairness, that is what happened. They started sending blitzes at him in the fourth quarter. And with all that said, and the process stuff, whatever, get that out of the way to get to the point, which is there is no one in the world who I want to have the basketball in the fourth quarter more than I want Jalen Brunson to have it. Full stop. There's nobody like him. He's just the will, the relentlessness. He somehow gains energy in these moments.
Hold on. You've played
No, it's John.
How?
The stamina. This guy is getting pressured full court all game, getting pushed and bumped and bruised and attacked on defense 25 times a night, taking charges, getting plowed over on box outs. It is remarkable that he gains energy in these scenarios where, like, he gets that ball. How many times do, like, someone else catch it and they throw it right back to Brunson down the stretch in the last, like, 10 possessions? Like, no one else wanted to even dribble. Back to Brunson. Go. And the ability to get by his guy within, 5 on the clock, and he's just able to get by his guy and therefore enter the lane and then make something happen is so uncanny. And it's just the energy he gains to get to all these counters and move after move after move. It's remarkable, John. Like, his stamina and his relentlessness is a defining characteristic of this player before you get to the shot making talent, which is what it is. It is outrageous. But you cannot knock this guy out. It's impossible. He can play as poorly. He didn't play poorly tonight, but he can play so poorly and then comes to absolute life in the last 5 minutes of a ball game like nobody I've ever seen.
Quote from Josh Hart: "I got a special shout out for OG. He saved me, at least for this game, a lifetime of regret."
Bars.
He knew.
Oh, you can see it on his face. You could see it on his face. You could see it after the box out too, or the missed box out too. He knew. I mean, he was like shell shocked.
I'm happy he doesn't have to. I'm obviously biased because I have the affection for Josh Hart that I do. I'm happy for us. I'm happy he doesn't have to live with that for the rest of his life.
It's the tragedy, the basketball tragedies that define this franchise over the last 30 years. Like, when has the basketball tragedy not defined the game for this team? It's crazy. It's crazy that they have exercised the demons, man. And that is that, like, OG did Josh Hart a real life solid. And that is such a beautiful quote. Like, he knows it. That would have been replayed. That would have been replayed for history, along with all the moments you mentioned earlier.
Okay, I'm looking up and down the roster. Who else?
Not the bench.
I'm just going to read some stat lines. Landry Shamet, 21 minutes, had as many points as you. Miles Deuce McBride, 7 minutes, and it felt like 7 too much. Has many.
He's lost. He's lost.
It's not. I want to get back to Deuce in a second. As many points as me. Jeremy Sohan, thank you for
dude. Oh my God. We had Jeremy Sohan. We had real Jeremy Sohan minutes in a game that we won.
And Jeremy was like, at the end of a possession, was like, I got this.
Oh my God.
I got this.
Dude, that's the low point. His turnaround mid-range jumper at the end of the shot clock.
When that went up, I'm like, all right, I respect this team. I respect their resilience.
We got to the point where Mike Brown was like, let me see if I can put his old teammate on him to annoy him. That was where the strategy was.
Imagine how Mohamed Diawara feels tonight, or Tyler Kolek for that matter. They had to look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys.
But Tyler Kolek knows he's the inspiration. His NBA Cup performance is the inspiration for the Jose Alvarado renaissance. He knows. And
that's a little sad. I mean, this generally, that is sad because Alvarado should be out there. Like, he is the proper, of those two, he's the proper player to be out there. Look, I was about to try to make an Ariel Hukporty point. I can't even do it with a straight face. He
was okay. I have nothing against Hukporty's minutes. He got a jump ball. He forced a jump with OG. He contested a Wemby 3 that Wemby made. Whatever.
Benji, when Ariel Hukporty is one of your better bench players in the game, things have gone awry.
Yep. So Shamet has regressed to the mean here, and it doesn't mean he won't have a big game because he's capable. It's just like he was shooting a percentage that was not sustainable.
I still trust it. I want him back in there. I want him playing another 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, he's important to them. Like he'll be okay. Clarkson was a mess tonight. Deuce looks a little bit shell-shocked, lost. Hold
on. Stay in there for 1 sec.
Yeah.
He played 7 minutes tonight.
Yeah.
You run him out there first half, game 5?
I give him a shot. Maybe he makes a couple,
Did you? Oh, sorry. That's so we were commenting on it during the watch along. So when Wemby blocked the corner three out of the timeout, it seemed like it was designed, or I think Andrew mentioned it looked like maybe a design play to get Deuce that shot. It was I'm
remembering two different. He took 1-3 on a design play in the corner that he missed, but then there was also a step back he took like over Wemby.
No, this is from the corner, and
they're both from the corner. I don't know, maybe I'm mixing them up, but yeah, go ahead.
It was a bad miss, and it was just I in the moment I was like, maybe they designed that play to try to get him going, but whatever. He's it's just I agree with you. Throw him out there in the first half, see what you get.
I think I just to double click on Deuce for a sec. The requirement against this defense is to be really, really quick with your decision making at all costs, and it's catch and shoot, catch and drive, and kick. And Deuce it's just not really his game. He's really a play finisher. Like, he wants to shoot it, and I think too many times now he's caught it, taken a dribble, then step back. And once you do that, it's over, especially if Wemby's closing to you. It's just over. And the shots he's taken out of those types of actions have been like crazy arc threes over tall players, including Wemby, which Deuce sometimes makes.
He has made, but
and he had another one where he came up on an inbounds play from the baseline to the top of the key in the first half. Pretty good look, tough because he's running out full speed out there, and it's a shot he just can make it. He hasn't made any. So that, if you're Mike Brown, you're like, I know this guy's a good shooter. If he makes 2 in the first half in game 5, like, maybe it's a different situation. But the series doesn't suit him 100% just because of the reason I said. Like, you need to really be moving quickly, and Shamit's much better at that than Deuce is.
So we shouted out the Cat 3, which was huge in the moment. It cut the lead down to 12. Cat then had a drive on Wemby where Wemby could have gotten called for a foul.
Absolutely a foul. Absolutely a foul.
Richard Jefferson said it in the moment.
Especially because they called Alvarado for a block on the other end. That was the exact same contact. That was weird.
Yeah. That got it under 10. That was huge. And then the OG 3 to cut it to 4.
Was that off the Alvarado pass to the corner, or is that a different? OG had so many threes.
It's easy to lose track. OG Anunoby had 7 threes? 7?
There's not a more sure commodity right now than OG Anunoby taking a corner three.
Hold on. We're doing Circle of Trust in a second. So that was huge. And then I don't know how we would rank these. The Jose Alvarado, I wrote J.A. Nifty, the 2-point shot where he drove after the Fox 3 to get it back to 5. You needed that. You needed points on that possession.
Surprised them. Yep.
Needed points in that possession and just needed points in that possession. And then after the Wemby 2, which was great shot, great. I thought it was Cat's most well-defended shot of the fucking series.
Said he got a hand on the ball. Yeah.
Yeah. And Wemby made it. And then who scores next? Jose Alvarado.
3
consecutive buckets from that guy. That's why this is the greatest 8-point game in the history of the fucking franchise from Jose Alvarado. And then after that was the JB 3 to cut it to 1. And then we know it. And by the way, the Brunson 2 to put them ahead. Pretty good shot maker's shot.
Outrageous. And when he gets in that zone, John, like where it just feels like there's absolutely nothing you can do. It's when you get it's fun to ride that Brunson trade in the fourth quarter when he's got it going, because you don't know what move he's going to. It's like he has so much to play with, and he gets to these shots that are and he got to the rim a lot, and that was I don't know where Wemby was. It's just strange.
Okay.
It felt like they felt like they were playing a different team for the last 5 minutes.
So let's do Circle of Trust, then we're going to do what you expect for Game 5, and then I'm going to, well, you're not going to sleep tonight. It's almost 1 a.m. Jesus Christ. Okay. Circle of Trust. Brunson, in OG in, who's third in the Circle of Trust?
Cat.
That's where I was going, and I wasn't sure. He's third. Okay. Hart?
Of course.
Okay. Mikal Bridges, 28 minutes tonight. 3 of 9 from the field. Well, it wasn't foul trouble. He didn't pick up any fouls. Where are we at on Mikal tonight? We haven't talked about him.
Yeah. I think he's struggling defensively at the point of attack, which is something that we've seen from Mikal in the past. I'd like them to switch that back and see how it works. Like get him on the shooters again on Vassell and see if he's a little more comfortable. On the offensive end, like I said, I don't think it's his series. This team is like a little bit more like Atlanta, where the guards are just so pressed up into you, and his dribble is high.
Yep.
And then when he's attacking closeouts with his push dribble and all that stuff, and he likes to get to his fadeaway. Well, that fadeaway, where he's normally his release point is so high that it's over anybody who's contesting. Well, all of a sudden he's getting really affected by Wemby. That happened 2 or 3 or 4 times.
There was one that stood out when they were really in the muck in the first half, and they passed it around. It was like a decent possession, and then it got to Mikal, and it was like, okay, it's me and him, and there's nobody else around, and all the shooters
this is where his inability to kind of put his head down and get to the rim to challenge Wemby is a problem. Like he's a flawed player. We love him. He's been amazing in the playoffs. The picks
and in game 2, sorry. And look, and yeah, the fact that this is not his series and he gave you the game 2 and you don't win game 2 without the Mikal Bridges game 2, he's arguing.
And there were some important buckets here. There was the fast break layup he had with Wemby contesting, lefty layup. I think
he hit a 3 tonight. I can't remember when the 3 was.
In the corner. He made a corner 3 on a really good offensive possession.
Second half? I'll try to look it up. Maybe
I think second half left corner, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right, Mikal's. He's not out of my circle of trust.
No, he's in the circle of trust. He's just had a little bit of a quiet game. That's okay.
Alvarado's circle of trust.
Absolutely.
Shamit's still in my circle of trust.
Absolutely.
That's 7. You need. Let's talk. Okay, so let's go to Mitch. I guess is the last one. Where are we at with Mitch?
I think it's very clear that he can't really catch.
You had a tweet to this effect, I think.
I hate that is the case. It sucks. But he's now missed multiple lob dunks that are easy for him. Even when he reaches for them, it feels like there's like a hesitancy, and he's trying to figure out how to catch and where to catch and how to tip. And for, he's probably the player who's least affected by such a thing because of, the limited offensive job that he has. But it really, like when at the margins, when you need to catch one over Wemby and dunk it, or you need to tip one out, it's just I think you can see he's a little bit limited, and that stinks. But it is what it is. So he hasn't. I thought the last 2 games have been a little bit weak for Mitch.
I agree.
But still they need him because Cat can't play all game, and he's still doing his thing on the offensive glass and at least making a nuisance of himself. So he's in the circle of trust, but you're hoping for a little bit more from him in Game 5.
Look, Mitch Johnson played Luke Cornett 4 minutes tonight. So say what you want about Mitch. He gave you, it weren't great 13, but he gave you 13 minutes.
And he was, by the way, that first stint was gassed. Like 5 or 6 minutes in.
No, hold on.
He
played 3 minutes.
And he couldn't breathe.
Because he came in and he played, I believe he played, unless I may be misremembering. No, because Cat's second foul wasn't until 3. It was, hold on. When was Cat's
second foul? Was a minute into the game.
Oh, so it was 5 minutes. You're right. I'm sorry. It was 5 minutes.
But he could not breathe. Now, it was earlier in the game than he expected to play, and he, put a pretty long stint in, but couldn't breathe. That's not great. I'm not sure what that's about. Yeah, I don't know. He's not his full self. I don't think, which stinks. But they're gonna need him. And to your point, Wemby played how many minutes?
40.
So they went small
40,
for a bit.
I'm sorry, 44.
He played 44 minutes.
Which is the second, I believe it's the second most.
So they didn't go small at all. No, they didn't go small. He just played all the minutes. Now, part of that, John, the experience of watching that first half was absolutely painful. Not just because the Knicks were getting crushed, but the game took, I've never seen anything like that. The game took 3 hours to get to halftime.
Yeah.
It was the amount of reviews, stoppages. So Wemby's 44 minutes, it really comes at a disadvantage to the Knicks because Wemby's 44 minutes become much simpler for him when he gets to chill for 25 minutes for all the commercials. It's crazy.
Okay. How do the Knicks win this series? I understand they're going to win another game. What are you looking for? What are you thinking about until Saturday?
It's a hard one.
I know. Because there's no one else I want answering this question more than you.
It felt like strategy kind of went out the window. Let
me rephrase it. We could agree that the second half was not about X's and O's. But I would argue that for as much as X's and O's and like strategic stuff enabled the first half to go the way it did, I also think a lot of that was like the Knicks were rattled is the wrong word.
Well, they were rattled.
They eventually got rattled, but even before that, they were not composed, and at no point in time did they execute to a degree that was acceptable. Spurs had everything. Knicks were making nothing. So it's like, yeah, it was 29, but when if you want to try to be very, 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 very kind, it was like, okay, when you think about all the things that went wrong, like where is the gap between these two teams when they are both like, and that's like, can they close that gap? Basically, is where I'm.
I mean, the margins are nothing. These teams are like, I mean, every game now is down to the wire, and I think it's really the little things. It's controlling the controllables. I think the Knicks have to look at what they did down the stretch to draw Wemby out to the amount that they did. That was the clearest the rim has been.
Is that like, does Alvarado need to play 25 minutes? I don't know.
Whether Alvarado plays, first of all, he can play 25 minutes in the series.
Of course he can.
But I think if you watch what he did, like he was so active as the low man, as a screener. Like you just have to keep getting action to action. And Alvarado you watch him, like he's all over the place on offense. Like he's running around, he's screening, he's back, he's fading, he's getting the ball, he's handing it off, he's going back to screen. And that's the stuff you have to do to try to scramble that defense. Because when he's sitting there, it's really hard, man. It's hard. I was talking with DJ, had felt like the Spurs had kind of solved something on defense in game.
I saw that
3.
tweet.
I trust DJ knows his stuff. I watched it, and I never felt like the Knicks were going to score a gazillion points in this series. Like the Spurs defense is what it is. You're not going to dominate them on offense.
They scored. Hold on. They scored 105, 105, 111, and 107. That's.
Yeah. And you just have to score enough. And then the defense has to be what it's been all year. So I feel like I didn't feel like the Spurs had solved anything. I just felt like the Knicks maybe had lost a little bit of that offensive energy. And you need to have offensive energy against this team. Like it needs to be constant and it needs to sustain. And when it doesn't, you go into real ruts, and they can put you in a real rut for a long time. That's a lot of what you saw in the first half, I thought, is that frustration kind of building where, man, you can work as hard as you want, but you can't even get a look out of it because of where they're all over the place and the ball pressure and all that. So I would look at that. I would just look at like that constant screening action, getting Wemby up. They still have to do a better job of getting Cat involved, and I think Brunson has to do a better job of getting Cat involved.
So that's the other thing is like I bet terrible job by me by not mentioning this when I just said
you're doing great, man.
A lot going on. the Cat needs to be on the floor. Like just a full stop, end of conversation. Cat needs to be on the floor. That's step one. We could talk about steps 2 through 20. Step 1 is Cat needs to be on the floor. How much of it is because in watching it in the moment, we were kind of like, man, it's a lot of pump fake and go. How much do they need to just shoot when they have a look, whether it's a great look or a good look or a decent look?
That's definitely part of it. But again, especially when Wemby's closing, it's like it's a hard balance to strike because he can freaking block it, and he did a bunch of times.
He did.
So it's hard, man. Like you have to. It's the resilience against him as much as anything else, because you have to keep staying with your approach, attacking and relocating and moving, and you might have to use all 24 seconds. Definitely, if the shot presents, you got to let it go because you don't know if a better one's coming. I thought the Knicks, for the most part, did that tonight, especially OG. But it's, that's the challenge. And like for Cat, it's hard because, man, they're leaning and they're grabbing and they're clutching and everything they're doing.
Did you think the second foul was a foul?
I was going to ask you the same question.
I in the moment as I were reviewing it, I'm like, he clamped his arm down on Wemby's hand. I'm like, that specific thing that the officials could look at and be like, he clamped his arm down.
Yeah.
Like, I whether it is a foul or not, I knew it was getting overturned.
I've never seen, I think Wemby kind of planned that, which I've never seen.
If he did, man, give him,
because I think it seemed to me like it was a clamp, but it wasn't the kind of clamp that Wemby couldn't have just gotten out of quickly. And I think Towns was trying not to do it because he's really gotten a lot better at not doing it, honestly.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think Wemby sensed it. He is, he's smart, man. Like
smart.
He does a lot of little things to draw fouls, and he's already getting that stuff, which he doesn't need, God knows, because of what he is. But he's starting to get there.
By the way, I'm gonna guess that Adam Silver does not watch these post games.
He's on NBA Twitter.
Limb.
He's on NBA Twitter.
All right, Adam. On the off chance this gets clipped and sent around, you absolute fucking chicken shit. That play from Game 3 was a flagrant foul. And I don't know what fucking fix you had to send in from on high to make sure it didn't get overturned. I did not read fucking Monty McCutcheon's bullshit because I didn't need to. Because we all knew that was not going to get playing in Game 5 of this series. And that's on you. And I hope you're fucking happy about it. Because there's a lot of people out there, and I know you don't give a shit because the integrity of the sport does not ultimately decrease your dollars. And that is what you have to worry about. You have to worry about your dollars. I get it. I do the same fucking thing. I'm still calling you a chicken shit because it's fucking wrong. You son of a bitch. It's fucking wrong. It was a flagrant fucking foul. You should not be playing in Game 5. That's it. Have some fucking balls, you motherfucker. Have some fucking balls. That's it.
Here. What about Castle clotheslining Josh Hart?
Listen,
on that out of bounds play.
Go through a dozen fucking plays.
But they reviewed everything in this game. They spent more time at the table reviewing than they did reffing the game. And Castle stepped out of bounds, then threw an arm at Josh Hart's head, and they didn't want to review it down the stretch. That was interesting. But look, I don't know. People yell at me about this.
People yell at you?
They yell at me about this, about the ref stuff. Because we haven't talked about the refs a lot until you just talked about that, which wasn't really about the refs. I understand that the refs were very frustrating in the first half. I even think some of it was unfair. I'm with you, fans. The way I look at, I don't know if it's the game, if it's life, is there's nothing to do about it. There's absolutely nothing. So you want to make it about the refs, then you lose. Do you want to externalize the result to something that's not in your control? What does that do for anybody? Fans are supposed to fan and get angry, and I do get angry.
I'm with you on this one. On this one.
And by the way, I thought the Knicks allowed some of that to seep in the first half, and they lost their poise. And again, that lack of poise almost moved that lead to a point where this all couldn't have happened. It was very close.
Well, it did, because this is not supposed to happen.
And you can't tell me that Mitchell Robinson clotheslining Wemby set some kind of statement or something. It didn't.
No, it didn't.
Nothing. It didn't do anything. So I don't know. That's just how I handle it. So I get a lot of the refs are an external thing It's like almost like injuries. There's nothing you can do. So you could blame injuries for losing if you have injuries, or you could just try to win with them. Like there's nothing to analyze about the refs for me that's interesting. Like, I don't believe it's fixed. I believe that they've allowed a certain baseline for the Spurs of physicality that benefits the Spurs. And now the way that's being called, it helps the Spurs. I don't think that they're trying to hurt the Knicks. I just think that that's the way they're calling the game, and it is benefiting the Spurs. Okay, so what are you going to do about it? So what did the Knicks do about it? They just won a game. That's what they did. I'm not. The ref stuff is like, okay. The flagrant thing though was annoying because that's weird. That was like textbook flagrant foul. So I'm with you.
That's all. That's because I had to make it just about that. I'm with you on the other stuff. You know, has it been fair? Probably not. But like, play your game. That's not why they went down 29.
What's happening?
I don't know. Put on a fucking suit.
Greetings, people of Earth. My name is Agent C. I've been summoned by the Men in Black International Intergalactic Organization as a report of extraterrestrial violence was reported during Game 3 of the NBA Finals, and I had to witness it firsthand. So we have put in a claim to Mr. Wembanyama. We have been collecting clues over the past couple of days. I made sure I was ready in case we saw him try to pull something again, but thankfully he showed himself very human in the second half of the game. I also searched a nearby park here in New York City. He was drawing something apparently, and I found what he drew. This is apparently what said Mr. Wembanyama, who apparently goes by codename Joel Mbanyama, those of us back at headquarters. Also, we're currently investigating another creature that may be exuding the behavior of someone not of this planet. So this is him in 2024. This is him in 2025. This is him 2 days ago. And this is him tonight. So I will just say we are currently under investigation right now, and this is not something of this planet. So you're on watch, Mr. Macri, if that is your real name.
Apparently, everybody in SNY, because I had the Zoom open while I was doing I blacked out, but they all saw that reaction.
We all saw it, Mr. Macri.
Was it good?
It's currently going viral in the places it needs to go viral.
Oh, is it really? I wonder who did
My
that.
last reports for tonight, the New York Knicks are 1 win away from an NBA championship. Congrats to all, and as always, react accordingly.
Get that one more win, man. Get that one more win. Benji, they getting one more win?
They're getting one more win. That man came on camera at the beginning of this, crying like a baby. And he goes off looking fine in a black suit, holding a Nerf gun.
With the black Ray-Bans on. Don't forget that. The black Ray-Bans on.
Amazing journey for you, Andrew Claudio.
That was really inspired by Andrew. I gotta say. That was really inspired. I like the fact that he went and put on a goddamn suit. That's impressive. That's very impressive.
Guys.
Benji, I'm gonna let you go. You have done yeoman's work. Like we never seen anything like this, right?
No, not from this team. Not from any team. What are we talking about?
I was about to say, not from any team.
We just witnessed the greatest comeback in NBA Finals history. One of the great games in NBA Finals history. A game that will be remembered for a very, very long time. Man, I so dejected at halftime. But I never give up with this team. Why would you? It's crazy. You're crazy to give up with this team. They do the impossible, man. So it's I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't go to sleep now.
I'm not planning on going to sleep anytime soon. I'll say it again. I've said it a few times already in the series, and I will. Every time I say it, it is bottom of my heart. It is an honor to get to talk to you about these basketball games after they're done.
Thanks, man. It's an honor to talk about it with you, to experience it with you, man. This is like we'll remember this for a long time.
One more win.
Pretty special. One more win. What's up, Andrew?
What I miss?
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, somebody held up something called a neuralizer to me, and I completely lost my memory. So, oh my God.
Is that DJ?
Jeez. That's our DJ.
By the way, that might be what DJ looks like after tonight.
After tonight, oh my gosh.
That's pretty good.
Okay. Benji, it was an honor to get to open this show with you, man. Tears and all, man. That was this is a night in Knicks history that we'll never forget. A night in Knicks Film School history that we'll never forget.
You guys are the best. Sorry if I was all over the place, but it's understood. We're not gonna get any sleep tonight, so I'll talk to you guys at like 1 p.m.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. Sometime in the afternoon if I wake up.
Till next time, friends.
Till next time, brother. Love you. What's up, Knicks fans? The playoffs are finally here, and every game matters. So before you fire off your bets, listen up. When you bet with Fanatics Sportsbook, you earn FANCASH, up to 10% back on all your bets, win or lose. And unlike points that expire, FANCASH is the true currency of sport. You can spend it on official gear for every team in every league, as well as collectibles and exclusive experiences, all on Fanatics.com. You're getting access to the world of sports every time you bet with Fanatics Sportsbook. And by the way, before every game, you could find our Knicks Film School squad bet right inside the Fanatics Sportsbook app. So if you're betting the game, bet right along with us. Get in on the action and start earning FANCASH today. Fanatics Sportsbook. Winning hits different here.